All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Recently, I have talked about the soon to be unprecedented free agent market for Los Angeles Angels star Shohei Ohtani as he's set to become a free agent at the end of this season. Now, Otane is in the midst of a phenomenal year as he's batting 303 entering play today, along with 32 home runs and 71 runs batted in, while he's also 7-5 with a 3.50 earned run average in 18 starts this year. Shohei already has one American League MVP award to his credit, and he's obviously in the running once again. Now, the current finger injury has slowed him down, but that's not going to deter teams from going after him in the off season. Now, recently I said that I expected the Los Angeles Dodgers and New York Mets to be the front runners to try to get Otani. But now, upon further review, I do feel that there are going to be some other big market clubs around Major League Baseball that are going to make a play to go after Shohei this winter. The San Francisco Giants have money to spend and they need themselves a star player. You look at the Giants right now, and they're right there with the Dodgers and Diamondbacks running for that NL West crown. And then, with that said, they're also in the mix for a wild card spot as well. But last year the Giants made a serious play to go after Aaron Judge, and he did an about face and decided to stay with the Yankees. And then, of course, we saw the deal with Carlos Correa fall through after Correa failed the physical, and upon further review, you know what, it kind of worked out for the Giants because Correa is not having a good season so far for the Minnesota Twins. But nonetheless, the Giants have money to spend, and I think they're going to be in these sweepstakes as well. The Texas Rangers, and they're under new ownership, and this ownership that's in place right now for the Rangers has shown a willingness to spend money. A couple of off seasons ago, it was Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon. Last year, it was Jacob DeGrom, albeit he's injured right now, along with giving manager Bruce Bochy enough money to lure him out of retirement. And of course, what do we have right now? The Rangers have really turned things around, and they're in first place in the American League West. Of course, Texas playing in one of the bigger media markets. I think this is going to make them a prime candidate to go after Otani this offseason. The Boston Red Sox, and I put a question mark there because the Red Sox, they haven't spent like they have in years past. I mean, granted, they did open up the vault to keep Rafael Devers this off season, but the Red Sox have been playing it a little bit closer to the chest in recent years. But nonetheless, we have seen the Red Sox turn things around. They're above 500. They're in the mix to get a wild card spot this year coming out of the AL. Now, would Boston want to make a run at Otani and give themselves a star in that Boston market? Also, could they show up the Yankees? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not just, just for the sake of saying it. But speaking of the Yankees, there are some people who feel that the Yankees are going to make a run at Shohei. But my thing is this: the Yankees already have a ton of money committed to Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, and of course Carlos Rodon, who they signed last year. Would they want to go out there and make another big splash in free agency? And for me, the big thing, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels like this, that John Carlos Stanton contract is the one that is hurting the Yankees right now. So would that make them think twice about going out there and pushing the envelope to try to get Shohei? We got to wait and see. Now, like I've said before, and I'm going to continue to say it, nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to put in a bigger bid, have the highest payroll in Major League Baseball this year, and it's not even close. But that doesn't mean that Shohei is going to be headed to Queens. Um, at the worst case scenario, I think Cohen's offer could drive up the market for Shohei, but at the end of the day, he's going to try to make Otane an offer that he can't refuse. I mean, the thing about it is MLB's biggest star on MLB's biggest stage, which is New York City. That's what it's going to come down to. And the bottom line is, if Shohei doesn't play for the Mets next year, it's because, in my opinion, he doesn't want to be in New York and he just doesn't want to be with the Mets. But with that said, the Mets, I do feel, are going to offer him more money than any other team. But with that said, it does not guarantee that he will be putting on the blue and orange next year. The Dodgers. The Dodgers, I think they're going to be all in on this Shohei sweepstakes. I mean, the thing is, they've seen him from a distance, somewhat, because obviously, playing there in Southern California as well. Shohei obviously has spent his entire MLB career in Southern California. So would he want to remain in Southern California and this train switch the Angels red for the Dodgers blue? And like the Mets, I do feel that the Dodgers would definitely offer Shohei a healthy offer to play for them. Now, the Angels, and obviously they're his current team. They're also a long shot to keep him. But at this point, I think that Artie Moreno has no choice but to keep him. Granted, a guy like Shohei getting traded could bring back a lot of prospects for a team. I totally understand it. But, Shohei's a box office attraction, and Artie Moreno was a guy that wants to have those box office attraction players on his team. It's going to be so tough for him to keep them. Like I've said before, and I'm going to continue to say it, Artie Moreno will give Shohei a legit offer. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be one of those. It's not going to be one of the top two or three offers that he's going to get out there from the market. And I just simply don't see Shohei giving the Angels a good old fashioned hometown discount. That's what it comes down to. Like I've said in the past, and I'm going to stick to it. It's not a question that, we shouldn't be surprised if Shohei gets offered $500 million this winter. I said it last off year, this time when Aaron Judge was in the midst of his MVP and record breaking season, that the Yankees were going to have to pony up at least $300 million to keep him, and they had to go well north of that. And I think once you factor in the amount of money that has been thrown around in recent off seasons to top tier free agents, it's not out of the question to think that Shohei might not draw $500 million, because you are going to get some of these big market clubs out there trying to outbid each other. And remember, we're not just talking about a guy that hits, we're also talking about a guy that pitches and pitches at a high level every fifth day. So, with that said, this is going to be a very intriguing story. This story is not going away. The Angels, obviously, they were in contention and they are beginning to slip out, not for any fault of their own, but just unfortunately, the injury bug just hit them so bad at the same time. Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, and Shohei. That's very tough for any team in any sport to overcome when you're talking about the top three guys in your lineup all going out at the same time. But nonetheless, it's one of those. I don't think this is Shohei's going to be a quick signing over the offseason. I think he might go past December into January before he signs, is due to the fact that, he wants to go out there, and his representatives obviously want to make sure that he gets top dollar. And I guarantee you, he's definitely going to get top dollar and then some. So it's just going to be interesting for us to sit back and see how much money it's going to take for Shohei Ohtani to put his name on the dotted line for an MLB team before next season. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.